Welcome to another edition of Africa Sideways. My name's Big Stick Simpson and we got a really cool car this week. The Subaru Forester Sport. It's actually the first Forester I've reviewed in a number of years, and this one is really tasty. It's got the new 2.5 litre petrol engine, loads of power, a lot bigger than the standards. Flappers. As you can see, we've got Flappers along, doing his usual vibe. Anyway, so new 2.5 litre petrol engine, loads of power. It would be nice to see a turbo on this, but definitely a lot of space. It almost feels bigger than the X-trail, which is one of the biggest soft roaders around. So I'm going to try and find some gravel, I'm going to find some tar, so check it out, only on Africa Sideways. It looks good from any angle. Massive boot space. This is one of the biggest boots I've seen in an SUV in a long time. This must be a good 600 litres easily. Loads of space for the whole family. I think this is knocking on the door as the best family soft roader of 2021. Things I don't like is it beeps a bit much. The problem with the lane departure assist, it's normally a bit overactive. But comfortable seats, perky power. Would like to see a turbo in here though. And it's got the old automatic tailgate as well. So it really does look at home here in Cape Town. It's a great vacation vehicle. It's a sensational vehicle. Fantastic handling. They've kept with a Subaru quality on the handling. You can really dart it into the corners. I like the rims are on point. I would like to see a slightly higher profile tyre, so I'd be tempted to go down a rim size. What have we got? A 225 on 15 on an 18, so I think you could put a 16-inch rim on here probably. Let's check the front out. Well, let's say you go down to a 17, you go 225 by 65 on a 17 and you'd be at the races. The problem I see in terms of off-roading is the front end of this car is very long and quite low. I'm noticing this in a lot of cars, is these low strung front ends, which is cool for city driving, but as soon as you do a bit of off-roading, that front end is in the firing line. Comfortable interior, more than enough space, big glove box. Got another camera there. Quite an exciting car. It's got the new 2.5 litre Subaru engine. There were complaints that the old 2 litre in the XV was a bit underpowered, but this thing, I'm happy to report, is very well powered. And my friend's got the 2.5 with an old 4-speed automatic, and it really laboured through the gears. But this, and I've driven the manual before with the same old, the 2.5, and that felt like it had a lot of guts, and this feels like it's getting back to that sort of heritage. I would like to see a turbo version of this for like a super sport. That would be extremely tasty. The acceleration is good. It's very good. I'm pretty sure it's under 10 seconds 0 to 100. But that turbo would just give it that extra kick in the pants. All-wheel drive system is on point. Did a little bit of gravel roading yesterday and it handled it no problem whatsoever. Traction feels really class leading in the soft roader game, and it has been that way for some time. You got a couple of different modes. You've got anyway, I think I'm on the go. You got a couple of different modes: snow and mud and normal. traction on this thing feels, well, Subaru-esque to the T. I believe that's why Toyota bought a stake in Subaru, is to get the IP of this all-wheel drive system. It's that valuable. Big glove box here, you can fit a lot of gear in there. Really wide cabin. It feels definitely a lot wider than the original model and longer. And as a result, your departure and exit angles are reduced. The brakes are on point. Look at that. That's why you buy the Subaru, for the brakes like that. On point, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a departure from the original Subaru Foresters, which were kind of almost, they'd be classified as compact SUVs now. Whereas this is a good mid-size SUV. It can compete with, I feel like it's bigger than a RAV4. It feels wider. Really good legroom in the back. And proper boot space. So this vehicle does tick a lot of boxes. When you've got you've got a lot of buttons here for like lane assist and different sensors. I'm not exactly sure what all of them are. You can SVD and everything. I wish that'd make it a little bit more easier to understand for the layman. In terms of handling, it really is planted through the corners. You can swing it in and let it eat. Trying to stick with a G-Wagon and see if we can do that. Whoa, it really does have a nice hum to it. It really does have a nice hum indeed. And was able to hang with a G-Wagon. That's a good sign. The turbo in here, and we would have been alongside him. Him or her. It's a fun car. Traction's good for off-road. They've got a couple of different modes: snow and mud, snow and dirt. So this is really set up for cross-country driving, not necessarily serious off-roading. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention it's got a very cool sunroof, big sunroof. Yeah, let's check out the handling through a nice little S-bend. There we go. This is a good test for any car's handling. And it handles with aplomb, boots it out of there. Oh, I say, that'll work. Yeah, we're at highway speeds. Wee bit of wind noise. I use the Prado as the sort of benchmark, and definitely noisier than that, but adequate. I will say the buttons on the steering wheel and for all the different terrain responses feel very, very well made, but I'm not sure who Subaru got in to do I'm not sure who they got in to do the infotainment system buttons, because they all feel quite plastic and the buttons don't feel as well made as the actual steering wheel buttons, which is quite peculiar. There's a separate display for cameras, so you can press a button here and you get forward and side. I want to check out if I can record that. It would be nice if you could record that information. And then we've got cruise control, radar guided. Let's give that a go. Okay. And now we've got the radar on. Okay, so we've got full autonomous. Well, not full autonomous, but I've turned all the sensors back on. Let's see what happens. So it kind of corrects you a bit there. I do find on all the cars the radar guidance system does tend to wallow a bit. closely you want to follow the guy in front of you. There you go, so it's got a good radar cruise control, works perfectly well for long distance trips. And then when you want to put the boots in, oh, it's got a nice squeal to it up at the top end. Very nice squeal. You get a bit of beeping on this car, but not as much as the Chinese cars. But more than I'd like. Oh, I do love that sound of that engine. Oh, they have really tricked it up. But a tire squeal there through the fast corner, as to be expected. And then we're on the brakes. I wonder if we can take a shortcut here. Slide on a bit of gravel. Get out of here. That doesn't look good. So yeah, it handles the grass perfectly. Works a charm. Cross-country car. Deluxe. So it's kind of approaching knocking the back of the seat power, but not quite there. So I do like the way they've gone with this engine. It's beautiful, but I still would like to see a super sport version of this with the old big growling turbo scoop on the front. You know, big tackies. You know what I'm into. Brakes are really on point. I notice a difference between this and some of the newer brands on brakes. This is really on point. And then we swing it in, yeah. So all in all, a great package. I think the Rav4, the X-trail, the Mazda CX-5, the Mitsubishi Outlander, and the X3 and 5, they're gonna be slightly concerned about this as competition, because it's really coming out swinging. One of my favorite cars are the new Subaru Forester Sport. It just gets you places. So all in all, I think this has got to get a 9 out of 10. It ticks so many boxes. It's practical, functional. It's not the cheapest SUV on the market, but it really does pop. So what's the main competition for this is your Rav4, which is could say slightly more reliable, but in terms of drivability in the gearbox, this feels a lot more planted to drive. Nissan X-trail, I got a friend with a 1.6 diesel who's very happy with it. Extremely economical. It's going to have this on economics, but it's not going to have it on reliability necessarily. What do you think of the Forester flappers?
Very nice, very comfortable. Very neat. Easy to understand.
Unlike some people. Gorgeous down here at Miller's Point. It's spring in the air, I wonder. Can't be far off it. Early August. Ladies and gentlemen, here are well, I don't know if you can see this. Here are the claimed figures. 8.3 combined and a 6.4 on the open road, 11.6 in the city, which is quite high. We've been getting 9.3, so 1k off the recommended fuel consumption. Really good speedo. I like the old-fashioned design. You know exactly what you're getting. Good value for money. This car's got a nice feature here. You can change your views. You can get different camera angles, your trip information, side of the car, back of the car. Really is a nice feature, and the quality of this button is really good, but the quality of the stereo buttons feels cheaper. I don't understand why it feels like it's of a cheap radio. Fishman always used to say you can judge a thing by the quality of its buttons, the hi-fi, and this just doesn't feel that planted. But the steering wheel buttons feel really good. I like this orange stitching and energetic orange, I believe it's called. Thanks Kyra for the info. Always go to cars.co.za for the lowdown. Next week I got the Isuzu X-Rider. Looking forward to taking that off-road. Keep it storm and have a good time up the Boca. And if you'd like to support the creation of more content on Africa Sideways, car reviews, overlanding talk, 4x4 adventures, etc., etc., please hit the thanks button at the bottom of the screen next to the thumbs up, and it'll go a long way to ensuring there's more content on this channel than ever. Thanks for watching. Be good, be safe, God bless. Catch you next time, Africa Sideways.